Zillow's database contains significant details on about 165 million homes. In the past, much of this information was only available to realtors in the multiple listing services system.
MLS is a database of information. There's around 500 MLSs across the country, established over the past 100 years. There used to be way more. And I think people recognize that 500 is probably still too many.
MLS systems are run by local real estate associations, which are governed by the National Association of Realtors. In 2019, the National Association of Realtors introduced a new policy that asks sellers to put properties onto an MLS within 1 business day of public marketing.
What Clear Cooperation indicates is that if a listing is publicly marketed, there's a sign in the yard, it's been advertised online, and that type of exposure to a segment of the marketplace would dictate that the listing be filed with the MLS.
In April, Zillow announced that it would soon enforce listing standards that mirrored those from the National Association of Realtors. Months later, a competing real estate company, Compass, sued Zillow over this policy.
What Zillow is doing is they're banning any agent and their seller who doesn't list on Zillow in 24 hours. It's like Amazon saying, if you don't give me your listing so I can monetize it and sell it for a 40% referral fee, I'm going to ban you.
You can't selectively market it, as a few companies are trying to, and hold it back and try and advantage yourselves over others. So that's what the industry rules are about.
The new real estate standards could affect Compass in particular. Their business model has realtors follow 3 steps. The important one is step 2, Compass coming soon. Here, an agent can market a property without showing price drops or the number of days on the market.
The consumer is able to see days on the market, which really hurts the seller. When you get on Zillow, you're able to see the price drop history. It's been in the market for, 75 days. Hey, it's time for me to go in there lowball.
These policies could limit how effective it is to buy or sell homes off of the MLS.
And there can be a number of reasons that happens. Maybe the seller wants more privacy in the sale of their home. Maybe they're going through a personal issue, whether that's an illness or a divorce. Or maybe the seller simply wants more control.
Being in DC, a lot of high-profile people don't want their houses in the open market. I get inquiries from people knowing a certain person owns that house, asking me questions, about, trying to get in.
If a consumer doesn't like that broad exposure, they have greater control over how their listing is marketed, and they can work with their listing broker to either keep it off the MLS completely, but if someone knows about it in Seattle, and maybe the potential for them purchasing it is small, but they might still purchase it. And who knows, they might be the person who wants to offer the most money and the most favorable purchasing terms.
In November 2025, Compass and Zillow will meet in court. But the antitrust lawsuits concerning Zillow and Redfin, filed by the Federal Trade Commission and state attorneys general, could take years to settle.
We know that when these 2 companies are combined, they are likely to charge landlords more money to advertise their listings, and that those charges to the landlords are then going to get passed on to the average renter.
We'll have to see how these court cases pan out.
As the volume of sales remains low and the industry consolidates, Zillow is focusing on what it can control.
For 20 years, we've just been focused on what does the buyer and the renter and the seller want. That need constantly changes. You should expect to see Zillow continue to innovate with products and services that not just meet today's consumer needs, but try and anticipate where they're going.